What up, y'all? What up? What up? What up? What up? We back. We back. We back. We back.
Indeed.
Another episode, CTRL+ALT+DEBATE. Sorry for my absence last week, y'all. I was on a 1-year anniversary cruise with the lady. It was amazing. And we back to work, man. It was hard, but we here. I had to go straight back into work after that shit. Like, no break in between. I was blue.
What cruise y'all went on?
Carnival. We did Carnival.
Okay, we did what we do, we did Virgin Voyages.
Virgin, yeah, we did Virgin.
Was it just a cruise or y'all stopped somewhere?
No, we went to Cozumel
and Bahamas.
Oh, y'all, damn, them two big ass on that one?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I made 2 stops.
Yeah. Damn. No, we did 2 stops, but
some cruises.
Cozumel, ain't that distance a look? It was a 7-day cruise?
It was 5. It was 5, like 5
okay.
and
I thought that was more of a distance. That's why I was looking shocked.
Well, what was it? I don't know.
No. It was 5 days and 4 nights or something like that.
Was it? It was Punta Cana, right?
Punta Cana and
I don't remember.
No. It was.
I think Punta Cana.
No. It was Cozumel because I got the little refrigerator bag.
Right. We went to Mexico and then we went to. I don't think we went. Cozumel is. I mean, Punta Cana is in the DR, right?
I don't fucking know.
I don't know that. I know Cozumel is Mexico. That's what I did.
Yeah, I do remember going to Mexico.
Bahamas. Wasn't it Bahamas? It was the Bahamas.
It was somewhere in the Bahamas. Yeah, I guess. I'm not quite sure.
But anyway,
so we had a good time. You know, we were drunk. You know, but go ahead.
Yeah. Shit, man. No. Y'all say y'all was drunk. We were so blue because we snuck some liquor on, but we finished it in like the first 2 days, and we was blue.
Crazy.
Oh my God, we were struggling to get through the last 3 days. But nonetheless, y'all, so we back. CTRL+ALT+DEBATE. Today's topic is believe all women dead? Now, we're going to stretch this topic just a little bit because there's a lot going on that relate to it, and then there's some tangential topics that relate but not maybe directly. So as far as the topics we're going to cover, let me pull up my handy-dandy notepad. So we got new info on Meg Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez. We got Haley Bailey and DDG just leaving court after seeing about custody for Halo. We got Remy and Papoose going at it. We got Cardi B with her breakup and new love. And yeah, am I missing one? Is it any I'm missing, y'all?
Those are the main ones I think that are being talked about.
Yeah, those are the main, those ones. Those are the main joints.
Krishan Rock. Go ahead.
I'm just so uninformed about that. But if we run through these, we'll hit that one.
Okay.
So,
that will make me so mad.
Oh my God.
Krishan make you mad?
Yeah. I'm
yes, absolutely.
You know what's going on. It'll piss you off. But go ahead.
Yeah, I'm so.
It'll make you want them to start a new law where they start locking these heifers up.
I swear.
Okay, so first my first question to open up the floor. Where do we, if anybody, whoever wants to go first, where do we stand as far as the new info on Meg Thee Stallion? And so to kind of guide y'all answer, where were you at the end of the trial, and where are you today with that situation?
All right, real quick before we do that, can you put a poll up in the chat as well for one of these for the main topic?
I got
so
you.
We can.
What you want to do?
I guess. Do anybody believe?
Should we believe all women?
Let's do that.
Believe all women?
Yeah.
Should we believe all women? Yeah. Make sure since that's the main topic, I want to kind of see how that lands by the end of this thing.
See if they're agreeing with us, disagreeing.
Yeah.
Where y'all landing at on that? Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I want to see what they. But if y'all want me to jump in first, I will.
Go ahead, baby. Like you want to.
I mean, I don't mind. And for everybody that don't know me, it's your boy Vibe. I'm back in the building with the home team CTRL+ALT+DEBATE squad. When it comes down to this situation, this whole conversation is going to be super interesting when they talk, because I feel like it all ties in, especially when we say stuff like, "Is believe all women dead?" Well, I know one thing about this Tory Lanez and this Meg Thee Stallion case. It's been dead in the water since it started. That's for me. I'm sorry, but I just didn't believe this salty ass female who came out with this ridiculous story about her being shot in the foot. Now,
Mhm.
don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Tory is even as much, if not a bigger dumbass for protecting a woman just because she had a baby. Now, that's his excuse. Now, let me give a quick breakdown of what I truly think about this situation. I think this situation popped off. I think everybody's trying to, at first, especially Tory, was trying to rock with this. Um, I don't snitch, no snitch code, the street code, and let me take it to trial type shit, thinking he gonna get off, like he's some type of, you know what I'm saying, big deal that he could never get convicted of this situation. And once it actually happened that he got convicted, he was like, "Oh shit, I really got to spend 10 years in jail?" Like, I'm because you got to realize who was the biggest gainer of clout during this time. Tory was. Tory had just recently got off a record deal. He had all the opportunity to make as much money as he wanted to make when he sold his album on the big chain or the big Bitcoin. He made so much money, he broke the industry as he claimed. And then after that, what did he do? He made more music referencing this Meg situation, right? So he had every instance to come out and say, "Hey, I didn't do this, y'all." But no, he rode that wave into the point where he actually got convicted. Now he's in jail talking about he don't deserve to be in here. And now he want to talk about who did what and what was what, now that he done almost lost his damn life. So for me, even though he's been in jail, he's still benefiting because Patterson was #1 album when it dropped, and he dropped that from jail, right? And I want to tie that in real quick to this. DDG is the person who helped Tory, right? Who helped Tory record his album, right?
Which one?
What happened? The Patterson, the one he just
Oh,
dropped. Yeah, the one he just dropped while he's in jail.
out of
DDG,
jail. Oh,
yeah, DDG helped him record this. Who is Haley Berry represented by? Rock Nation. Who is Tory's situation? Rock Nation. Now
Don't
I'm
say
not
Rock
going.
Nation. Say the company who shall not be named.
Well, I ain't got no issue with
Because
them.
we don't want them taking this video down.
Listen, I don't have no issue with these people whatsoever. I don't know what's going on. I know the industry, right? So
Mhm.
at the end of the day, Tory put himself in a fucked up position because he want to represent the street code, and he got treated like a street nigga, and now he's suffering the consequences. Meg Thee Stallion has been lying, and she thought she was going to benefit, but how can she come out and say that she was lying throughout that whole thing? When it would have been a great time to come out and said, "Hey guys, I'm sorry, but I lied about being shot." Like, there's no great time to admit that. I'm sorry, there's no great time to admit that, and that's why her career has dwindled since, and it's going to continue to because people know she's lying, and Tory helped with the lie, so they're both wrong if you ask me.
well, who
That's
next?
fair. That's fair.
Mhm. That's fair.
Uh, Well,
Sandra,
I feel like with this situation, I don't believe until I see evidence. Okay, because people can make all sorts of stuff up. People have certain alliances. They can get together and be like, "Hey, this is the truth we're going to tell." So I really only try to focus on the concrete evidence. From my understanding, she didn't have any shards of a bullet in her foot. It was glass. So what it seems to me is that the gun, clearly something went off. Maybe there was a struggle for it and it went off and it shattered the glass, and then she, it got into her foot. But either way, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Okay. So Meg Thee Stallion, her career is kind of because of that whole situation, and also her endorsement of Kamala, that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. But then, we look at Tory Lanez, and he's dealing with his situation because he shouldn't have had a gun in the first place. He already had a felony, I believe, and when you have a felony, you're not allowed to have firearms. Okay, so he was fucked up from the beginning. So you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. I don't feel no type of ways about either person in this situation. So he just gonna have to live with those consequences.
Right on, right on. I totally agree.
All right, all right. Well, I think we're all going to agree on this topic because for me, I think that the Believe All Women whole movement from the inception was very dangerous. It puts women in a position where they are to be believed above facts and evidence. And when you do that, you weaponize. You can weaponize a whole group of people against another group. And that's exactly what we're seeing now. We're seeing women being weaponized against men. Men don't have a voice, especially when it comes to children. We're seeing these celebrities being put on a pedestal, these women celebrities, anything they do, they're to be believed. And this sets a dangerous precedence for younger women, okay, who now believe that they can do whatever they want to do to men and get away with it. And I believe that it's by design. And I know how your crowd thinks about conspiracy theories, but I think that it's by design. I think that this is another tactic to weaken the country, to bring in a weak, emasculated male population. Okay, that's what we're seeing. We're seeing men, having to bow down to everything. And you mentioned, Vibe. You mentioned the snitching laws, the snitching, the whole no snitching thing. That wasn't even for civilians. Now you have people all over the internet that have never been in the street, who have no reason not to snitch, but do call the police if something happens to them. They would do it behind closed doors. But you have them holding the celebrities to this, especially male celebrities, to this standard where if something happens to them, they can't tell anybody, or else we're going to ruin your career. To me, this is a dangerous, dangerous thing. I think it does not serve women well at all, because when something actually does happen to a woman, they're not going to be believed. More than likely, even though there's this whole believe all women thing going on, and you see these celebrities getting away with stuff, it undermines women that have real incidents happen to them, right? So anyway, but the Meg Thee Stallion case, it was so shocking to me, but it wasn't, because it happened in California. California's a Democratic state. Anything goes. And to me, the politicians are so corrupt and always have been, up until this fire they just had. I don't believe that was an accident at all. But, I wasn't surprised. I was surprised, but I wasn't surprised. There was enough evidence for him to get off. There was enough to present reasonable doubt. The case was laid out for real without him actually having to say anything. I think Kelsey asking for immunity just told the story. I think everybody could figure out what was going on, because why would your best friend need immunity if she didn't do anything, or, she couldn't say anything incriminating. But other than that, I think that we're just in a very dangerous time for women, with the emasculation of men, because that leaves us unprotected. That leaves a very soft, masculine, soft male population that doesn't speak up, that is unprotected themselves. And it creates a situation where men don't even want to deal with women, especially Black women, because that's the face of the Believe All Women movement. And this is all you see, aside from the Johnny Depp situation. And he got, he got his get back. But other than him, you see Black women as the face of Believe All Women. And it's usually something that you can't believe, that it does. Your common sense won't even let you believe half the shit they be saying, including Halle Bailey. We looking at that right now, and that's just crazy to me.
Yeah, those text messages are wild.
Boy, I got them bitches too.
Shit, can we see them? I ain't even seen them.
You ain't see them?
I ain't seen them. I don't even know.
They're
right now.
I might pull
they're
them
bad.
up. I might pull them up.
Yeah.
All right,
somebody have to tell me what the hell going on with the text messages.
Oh my God!
So
it's, you know who it is. We lived through it. We know it. If you see these messages, you know exactly.
I know. No, you ain't got to say no more. You ain't even got to say no more. I showed you my
phone and my son's phone, so you already know what's going on.
You ain't even got to. You ain't even got to say no more. Go ahead, Logic.
So back when this shit happened, I went through a lot of emotions when this shit happened, because I like both of them as artists. I like both of them. I like Tory a little bit more. So I was blue. I'm like, why the fuck is this type of stupid shit happening between two people that I like that just shouldn't even be happening? It just sounded stupid. And so when it first happened, I was like, okay, I think initially we heard she got shot, but then she said the glass thing. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, so initially I'm like, a gun probably went off and she might have gotten shot, but they don't want to tell. Nobody wants to tell on nobody. So she's saying she stepped on glass. And then I'm like, all right, well, whatever happened, it was probably an accident. She didn't want to get nobody in jail. Boom, that's it. Then I guess Tory, for whatever reason, wants to be big and bad on the internet and provoke her to say, Tory shot me. And I'm like, well, damn, nigga, you shot her? Why would you do that? And I'm like, because I'm in my mind, I'm like, if she's saying he shot me, you know what I'm saying? He probably did that shit. She's like, he shot me. Like, she saw him point a gun. So I'm like, he probably did that shit. So I was like, fuck Tory. And then,
hold on, so you was on the whole fuck Tory bandwagon.
I put it on Facebook. I was like, fuck Tory. I said that shit. I'm like, why would you shoot? Why are you shooting Meg? So
no, I can see that. I can see that.
You know, because she said it so strongly. You know, the case going on. Kelsey getting immunity. They fucking. You know, it was a fight. I'm like, she lying on this nigga. I'm like, she lying on this nigga. He didn't shoot her. Whatever happened, he ain't shoot her. Even if a gun went off.
How did you feel about the Gayle King interview?
When she answered it, it was bullshit. I'm like, that wasn't a real answer. Like it didn't feel honest at all. It didn't feel honest at all. So, and like I said, I'm watching the case. I'm seeing all the evidence come out. I'm like, okay, then Kelsey gets immunity. I'm like, Kelsey tried to shoot Meg or had a gun and tried to scare her. That bitch went off. Meg got hit. And for whatever reason, Meg is like, Tory shot me. I don't know why. Maybe she was so drunk that she pieced this together. Who fucking knows? And now, I think Tory is stuck on don't snitch. I can't be a nigga saying this girl shot her so I don't go to jail. And he's like, I know in his mind, he's like, I'm innocent. Therefore, I'm not going to go to jail.
Exactly.
And I didn't shoot her. It's going to be enough reasonable doubt. I ain't going to jail. He dug himself a hole.
But I take the street cred for going to trial though.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
But
again, I think some people also forgetting that Meg isn't the one that took him to court too. It was California. So, you know, we can't blame her for that part. But it's like you gotta go to trial for this shit. And now he's like, I'm not gonna tell on the two girls I was fucking that they was fighting and somebody got shot. I'm not finna snitch. And she shot her. And he's like, I'm innocent. There's gonna be enough reasonable doubt. They're not gonna convict me. Nigga get convicted. I'm like, what the fuck going on, bro? Like 10 years. I'm like, bro, now that's fucked up. To me, the most bogus part about this is the 10 years. That shit pissed me off. The man should have did a year or two, community service, something, you know, get deported even, whatever. But
deported.
10 years to me was crazy. And
but you know they say shooting someone below the waist is attempted murder gives you more time than actually trying to kill a motherfucker, like shooting him above the waist.
I ain't heard that, but he didn't get convicted for shooting her. That's the thing,
and that's the next thing. He didn't get convicted for that thing.
Yeah. So, and that's what everybody's like. Oh, you shot Meg. So yeah, you got to go to jail. But he didn't get convicted for that. So it's like, what is the 10 years? How does this result to 10 years? And I don't.
Right.
And to me, this is a point against the believe all women. Even though I've never been a believe all women guy. I believe all evidence. So. It's a knock to like this is one of those reasons where you got to be like, you can't just run and pick a side. Too much shit came out to make you realize too many people was lying in this situation.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I do feel like this, you know, that was one of the major knocks against the Believe All Women movement, because Megan was one of the forefront people that they put out there to say, you know, believe all women. But one thing I really didn't like, and I still, even though she's not the one that took Tory to court, technically, I didn't like the fact that she doubled down. Like, it's almost like
even and today too. She's still doing it.
Correct. He's already convicted. He almost got killed, and you're still saying he shot you, even though I don't know if you guys know they released evidence. They released all the evidence, the body cam footage and all of that.
But Bernadette, even though all of that is happening, what does it look like for her to come out and say that she lied now? Like she gotta, she has to ride his
keep that lie going.
Well, what do you?
Yeah,
and I agree, but it's damned if she does and damned if she doesn't, because we still calling her a liar. You know, nobody is nobody's messing with her right now. Like literally, she posts a picture in her most fittest frame with the best swimsuit, hair fly, makeup done, doing the most. and people are still under her comment section saying free Tory. I mean, there's nothing. There's nothing.
People are still saying free R. Kelly and free Diddy too. I mean, like people gonna always say, free somebody.
But I think people would respect her more if she just came out and said, "Look, this is the
they wouldn't respect her.
What is she going to do? Okay, but what are we saying now? What are we saying? How
what she needs to do is be quiet.
She needs to shut up. I think
she needs to just shut up.
She needs to not say nothing.
She can say the fuck up and if she lied, let the courts prove that she lied. Like at that point, like she's trying to defend herself because she's insecure about her position in this situation.
Yeah,
I agree.
See, this is what she need to do. She need to take whatever little bit of money she got from her records and stuff like that. She need to open up some businesses where people don't know she owns it, and she need to go off the radar because like all them 2000s rappers.
If it come out that she was
money behind the
lying,
scenes.
Yeah.
But okay, so what do y'all think is going on with this congresswoman that's been on this tear trying to get Tory out and saying it's new evidence? Penis. Like none of this shit is new.
Tory penis.
Now the only thing I heard that's new is the neighbor saw the two women fighting and the gun went off or something, if I'm not mistaken.
But they said that at the beginning, though, right?
Guy, Sean Kelly, there was a guy that was there initially.
Not Sean Kelly, you said?
Yeah, that's not new evidence.
Sean Kelly. That's
not new evidence.
Not new evidence, but he was there. He was there at the courtroom. He saw from a window what happened. So he was able to say that Tory was one of the guys that came out from around the vehicle to stop what appeared to be one of the females on the passenger side shooting. Mm-hmm. Okay, Sean Kelly said that when he got to the courtroom, who was there from the record company who shall not be named? Desiree Perez. Desiree Perez, who right now has a lawsuit from her own daughter from putting her in mental institutions because she didn't like the guy that she was with and was going to marry. So she's doing this to her own daughter.
Well, you got to realize Desiree Perez is also a CI for the feds, based off of, old records and testimony. So, I mean, it's a lot going on with this lady. I mean, she got a lot of, obviously she has a lot of pull. But this, again, are we going to go down the road that this isn't Megan line, and then again, she's just following a corrupt record label who's spinning this story, or is Desiree Perez behind this story? So she's still a woman that lies.
That's what they're saying, is that when all the evidence was there, people were suppressing evidence. That's all I'm saying. Desiree Perez actually took the prosecution's. I mean, the defense's key witness, which was Sean Kelly, upstairs and had a conversation with him. He come down the stairs and changed his story. So I'm just saying, like, what do you make of that? That sounds very fishy to me.
Like, it's a lot of fishy shit. Like, I don't the prints being inconclusive and shit like that. I don't even know if they were ever proved it was Tory's gun. Was that proven?
No, it wasn't not proven.
Sean Kelly never said Tory shot her. It's just like, I'm like, how did I don't know what I missed that the jury said he was guilty. I don't know what I missed in the evidence.
How are we not interviewing the driver?
Wasn't he the one that disappeared? He was the one that disappeared.
He disappeared. He was not. He never took a stand.
Now listen, y'all know how I feel about conspiracy theories, but I think some shit's going on here. I really believe some shit is going on because, like you said, I do think this Rock Nation shit is something weird going on to even have Meg say Tory shot me. Like I think that I don't think Meg did that shit on her own volition for some reason. I truly don't. I think it might have been a way to boost her career or something. I don't fucking know, but
definitely didn't do that. But go ahead.
Attempt. So it
looks better. It looks better. I guess maybe it would be more in her favor to say, to be a victim, but not of the female.
Well,
yes.
Yeah, wait. Well,
you gotta realize, be over fighting over a dude.
Okay, right. First of all, we have to also realize that the basis of the whole entire story has now been shaken. People have forgotten about the root cause of this and why they was in that truck in the first place. Tory was flirting with Kylie Jenner at the party they was all attending. And they was kicked out because Meg got drunk, and that overshadowed everything at that point. It overshadowed Meg's drinking problem, her men problem, her funky breath problem, every problem that she done had over that time. Her getting shot made her a winner for a short amount of time. And I think that's the only story they can come up with, because the story of her fighting over Tori with her best friend, who they was both fucking, just did not fit well.
Yeah,
with
that's
Southern
not a good story.
That's not a good
Exactly.
story.
No,
It makes you look worse.
it
You know,
does.
but there is one thing that I do want to bring up about this whole snitching thing. First of all, no snitching only works if you doing dirt alongside the muff, and then you go and you start talking.
That's the
It
only
don't work
time I
with,
thought snitching
I'm down the
applied.
street and your gun veers off where it was supposed to go and hits me, and now you saying I can't tell? Nigga, I can tell, and I'm a point right at your ass, because I'm not doing dirt with you. It's no snitching only works if we're all in it together doing dirt, and now you want to jump ship and get a deal. That's what no stitching is. But people done, you know, and this is a problem that I have in general, is that terms like that constantly get bastardized, right? We take these terms that once meant one thing, very specific, and then the general population gets a hold of it, and then it becomes something completely different. And it's annoying at this point.
Yeah, no, I'm calling the cops any situation I'm in that I'm not involved in. I'm calling the cops. I'm sorry. Like, listen, like I told y'all plenty of times, I'm so far removed from today. Like, no.
But see, that's become such a value point in the Black community, is don't call the police, you know, but it's
they
often
say that shit, but they don't really live by it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said. It's all BS. You know, last time we talked, I said, you know, listen, a lot of this stuff is performative, okay? Because if something happens to you, somebody break in your house, you know, hold you at gunpoint, you have the opportunity to get the police over there, you're going to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I agree. Oh, real quick. And again, I kind of want to stay for my personal, you know, mindset. I kind of want to stay on topic a little bit and ask everybody this question. Like, what does believe all women mean to you today? Because to me, I feel like it never registered for me. But it almost feels like today, it feels like saying BLM, Black Lives Matter. It has no weight. It has no weight what the fuck soever.
I mean,
I'll be honest, it never had weight for me.
Yeah.
It never had weight for me, because I had already seen too many people get lied on. I've already had too many women lie on me for some stupid shit. So it's just like, I'm not going to sit over here and believe somebody just because they said some shit. You could have some kind of vendetta. There was this case where this woman, it was in college, she said that this man did all these different things to her, and the whole time he rejected her, didn't want to touch her, but they still tried to bring him to court, even though there was no physical evidence, no semen, no nothing. And they showed the footage from the bars showing that he was away from her. He was nowhere near this heifer. But she was like, oh yeah, he did this and this to me. Whole time he rejected her, said he didn't want to touch her, and she was mad. So I don't trust these hoes. There was a football player. This happened to him, where this woman accused him of grape, and
Zion.
he ended up going to prison. I forget his name, but he ended up going to prison right in his prime, and luckily he was able to get out early enough to still get a deal to play for the NFL. They had a movie about him. I forget his name, but those situations like that are terrifying. Side, right? And I have a son. I'm sorry?
Not The Blind Side, right?
No. That was completely different. But situations like that terrify me. I have a son. Ain't no way. Ain't no way I'm just gonna lie on my son. Absolutely not.
That's what I'm saying, Sandra. Like, when you have boys, when you become a boy mom, your perspective completely changes. Like, you know,
I always wanted to have a son, so my perspective was always there, because I always knew I was gonna have a son one day. And even if I didn't, it's still right is right and wrong is wrong.
Agreed. I'm a boy mom. I have 4 adult sons. I done watched somebody stalk my son for 5 years and ruin and financially, I ain't gonna say ruin, but bring him down financially, you know, based on an accusation that wasn't even true. So I've seen this shit firsthand. And, you know, that changed my perspective of the modern, I ain't gonna say all women, you know, but I'm saying like the women that are industry or that chase entertainment.
No. See, I can't let you do that. Because as a woman, I know you're going to defend women like yourself and of your what you perceive.
No,
as
I ain't
your caliber.
defending. I'm
No,
not
no.
defending. I'm just saying not all women.
But see,
But I'm going to say
and again,
there's
I don't
a lot.
know. Hold on,
There's
because
a lot.
I'm logic. I don't know how you feel about this, but as a man, it's not in a man's nature. That's why this doesn't say believe all men.
What's not in our
It
nature?
says to lie to that extent on another person to get them in trouble, to cause them some type of financial disruption.
Yeah,
to, that's
not
not in a
type of
man's
sense.
nature.
I don't know nobody that lies like that. Like
that.
For that. Yeah.
That is strictly right.
Well,
that's
women. That's women's version of violence. I do believe that their version of violence and get back is ruining relationships, ruining people's status, their image. That's what they attack people. For their presentation to others, and I think that's like their version of like knocking a nigga out. That's what they do because they can't do that.
No.
That's the way they go about it.
Yeah, and a good example of that is Mean Girls. If you've seen the movie Mean Girls, that's exactly what women do to cause harm to one another. It's a lot of manipulation, a lot of throw rocks, hide your hands type of shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but the insane part, to me, the insane part is that these women will do it even at their own expense. You depend on this man to do this, that, and the third. Like we're looking at the situation with Halle Berry and DDG. Well, and that's bad because she don't really depend on him like that.
Oh, no. See, that's the difference. When someone depends on someone, it's not always financial, right? Like there is other ways that people defend because, so what you're about to say, I totally is going to agree with you. But again, I feel like that is in a woman's nature because for a man to come out and just start to throw a woman under the bus is some bitch shit. Like if a man breaks up with a woman, the first thing he's go to the internet to do is be like, oh, she did this, she did that. It's not the case.
But let me just say this real quick about that situation. It may not be a financial dependency, but she's now in the midst of drama that's even ruining her own image, right? Mm-hmm. So my original point was women, even if they're not in Halle Bailey's position, will ruin a man at their own expense. Even if they depend on that man for the money that's coming in, they will ruin his financial ability, and then they'll complain about it. And we've seen that also firsthand. Where a woman will accuse the man that is supporting her and her child of doing something and then cause him to lose whatever income that he has coming in, and then complain and call him a deadbeat when he doesn't have that anymore. We can look at Cardi B and Offset right now, right?
Wait, let's stick on.
Go ahead. I'm just jumping around.
Y'all segued into Halle, and so that was fine. I just didn't want to jump to Cardi. We didn't get through Halle.
No, I want to see those. I seen you put them texts up there though. I want to see them.
That was damn.
Those text messages are wild.
I was getting it prepped up.
Okay.
I was getting it prepped up, but I was just gonna say
some toxic ass shit.
I'm gonna pull them up though. To round out that part, I was just gonna say my believe all women stance was always that I want to take people that say they're a victim serious, but I'm not. The team sports shit is what pisses me off. A woman says it like, oh yeah, fuck that nigga, he did wrong. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, chill, just wait and find out what the fuck happened, bro. But I'm gonna listen to you. I'm not gonna say you're lying because you said something happened to you, and then it's like, oh no, that bitch lying. I'm like, what happened? You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to condemn the perpetrator, and I'm not going to take the side of the woman immediately. You know what I'm saying? But I could pull up these screenshots. Let me see. I'm going to share it on here. I'm not a boomer, I promise.
Just boomer energy.
I forgot how to. I haven't done this in a while. Share the screen with y'all. Fuck. How the fuck I share my screen to y'all in Discord?
Well, I think if you pull it up on the stream, we can still kind of see it if y'all got the stream pulled up.
I just didn't want to block faces, but we're gonna block faces.
I don't know how that's gonna work because for me it's gonna be delayed.
That too is gonna be delayed.
Oh yeah, it is delayed. You can read it off to us. Read us the text message.
Yeah, if you can read it off, if you want to put it on the screen and read it off, I can catch it. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna block my face because I need to see y'all. That's what I'm gonna do.
Take one for the team.
Yeah, I need to see y'all.
That's cool.
Okay.
That's the whole screen. That's the whole
Yeah, looks
screen, but I'm
good.
cool
It
with it.
looks
Okay.
good.
So well, I can't read it. Okay, so these are some text exchange between Haley and DDG. What's this one? This was dated in 2024. This was just a few months, last year. So this is proof. You leave me hanging as a mother. You won't even step up when I need you to. I'm begging you. I just found out you slept with Lala. You know she mad. She cannot type. I just found out you slept with Lala in Mexico. I'm going to kill myself tonight. My son will not be around for it. I hate you forever. You have him and let her be. You can have him and let her be his mom. He said, I can't believe you acting like this. That's all he said after all this shit.
Typical women shit, bruh.
She said,
Typical.
you put your penis inside of her in Mexico.
Hold on, read it in her voice and cry with it. And cry with it.
Okay. You put your penis inside of her in Mexico, knowing I was here taking care of our she can't type. Knowing you was taking care of our son, knowing I was crying before you left. You selfish, disgusting Perion. Y'all evil. Oh my gosh, she's insane. Okay, please take Halo. Okay.
Hey,
Listen.
out.
First of all,
Nothing but a crash out.
listen, first of all, this is prime. This is prime post-traumatic stress disorder for women of this new modern day age who do not really want to be parents. They want the idea of having a child, but they only want that idea if there's with the father they birthed it with. This is typical. These bitches spaz out when they don't get their ways just because they had a child by you. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't go through this with my child's mother, and my child is 19 now, finna be 20. So the years that I left my baby mom, and I ain't hear from her ass for 4 months. She ain't text me. She ain't call. She ain't say I needed this. I had to flag her ass down to figure out where she was at. You see what I'm saying? But this is
she got your DNA.
Yeah, she got my DNA. She ain't need nothing else. Like she kept that shit moving. So, but these new, she ain't never say, I'm gonna kill the baby. I'm gonna throw the baby off the balcony. None of that shit. None of that shit.
But you know what though? I made a video on this situation, and Haley has openly admitted that she's a problem in toxic in relationships. She said that out her mouth. She said, I like drama. I'm jealous. I'm a jealous girlfriend. I'm crazy. I'll be wanting to get into it. She said that out of her own mouth, and she wasn't lying, clearly. So this was.
See, here's the thing though. I have to hold DDG accountable. Why the f you knock her up? Why you put a baby in that? Why did you put a baby in that? And see, this is the thing. This is the thing. You know, as much as I'm gonna hold Halle Bailey accountable for being a crazy asshole, why are you knocking up crazy assholes? You know, protect your seed. Your seed is valuable.
But you can't always
and a lot of men don't move like
until
that.
crazy come knocking at your door, right?
Like you said, she said it. Like you said, she said
what
it.
if he ain't see that video? I saw it. Maybe he ain't see it.
See, listen, I'm gonna keep it a whole buck. I don't give a damn how crazy a motherfucker say they are when it comes to being a woman. A man is gonna always test those limits. That's just the nature of man to be courageous, to see if it's really that crazy. When we find out, we know how to avert that shit. We get the hell on now.
Well, you know, let me tell you something. I'm gonna have to agree with Sandra because we're women. We know this shit. There's always a sign or 5 that you don't want to go there with this female. It doesn't just appear when you start dating. You have observed this female in situations. 9 times out of 10, you didn't just walk up to her and y'all got it. You have spoken to her, you have seen the toxicity, and you choose to jump in those waters. And when you do, you find out it's 10 times worse than what you thought it was. You know, but men, and I'm not sure if it's just generational. I think that these men tend to like the adventure and they like the drama. Maybe it makes them feel needed. Maybe it makes them feel masculine. I don't know what's going on, but I just know that there are signs before you even get started.
Well, you gotta realize this, right? Men are not wired to look at a female as dangerous. Like you're not a real threat. Like you gotta ask yourself, for most black men, right? Let's talk about young love first of all. Young black love is not experienced in majority of life when people are being raised by their parents. I'm not even gonna say parents. It's only a few of us in this chat that was able to be raised by parents. And I guarantee you, I'm not one of them, right? So my parents and her relationships always displayed toxicity. And most of the relationships that I seen as a young male displayed toxic foundations. The first time I actually seen a man beat a woman's ass was my cousin, and I couldn't believe it that he was really whooping this girl's ass. And I felt bad for her, like horrible. I have a disdain for violence or relationship violence. Period. I don't stand for it. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. There has only been one situation when I was younger where I had to defend myself because my child mother wouldn't let me out the damn house. No, you're gonna be with me. Stay. No, I'm gone out this bitch. Sure. And that caused me to have to push her out the way just to get out the house. She
Well,
wouldn't let me.
I'm gonna have to
Hold
check
on.
you on something though.
Hold on.
Just because you're
Hold on.
raised with one parent doesn't
Hold
mean
on.
two parents can't be toxic as hell.
But no,
But go
but this,
ahead.
no, I'm. It's not nothing to check me on. What I'm saying is, when you come up with having not seen your parent, your mother, and your father fight, but you see your mother argue and fight with another person that's not your blood, that causes you to have a different perspective on protecting women because I want to protect my mom. If it was my
Yeah.
dad, I would be
Do that.
conflicted. I would be conflicted on
That makes
what parent is in the right, what parent is in the wrong. But a lot of these young black males are growing up watching their mothers fight men that are not their fathers, right? So they know dating a woman that is not directly connected with you can cause some friction, and it's entertaining. It's because black people love entertainment. Look at baddies. All this shit is nothing but fight. They don't even have a storyline anymore. It's just fight.
That's why. So after Flavor of Love, I gave up. I'm like, y'all just fight.
Same.
Now, right?
I didn't even watch nothing like that.
So, and I'm gonna make this point before I pass it on. And I've dated all races. I'll be honest, I've dated all races. But when it comes down to it, I have never had to prove my love more than I have to prove it to a black woman. When it comes down to if we don't fight, I don't obviously love her. Oh, we not arguing. You don't argue with me enough. You don't love. What the fuck kind of logic is that? That logic don't even make sense. We're not arguing, so that means you must not like me. I don't understand it. Never can understand that logic.
Yeah, I think I just wanted to touch on that, not necessarily check you, but touch on that. I grew up with both parents, but they were toxic. So my early relationships were toxic. I had to learn how to have a normal relationship by fostering a sort of a self-growth journey and figuring out who I am first. And a lot of women don't go through that. They just kind of watch what's on TV and they watch their role models and they watch these celebrities and they figure like this is how life is. When I was like in the military, I think that was when Real Housewives and all of these things came out, and you saw the way a lot of us saw the way these women acted, and we thought, well, is this normal? Is this how women are supposed to act? And they were toxic. So we're being fed so many toxic, as women, we're being fed so many toxic images and behaviors that it's hard to decipher, especially for the younger crowd, what's normal. So when you brought up baddies, a lot of these young girls idolize these girls on baddies. They're wearing their hair like them. They're wearing their clothes like them. They're going to Walmart in lingerie, damn near, and slippers. And then they're dealing with men the way they see these celebrities, these celebrity relationships. And I know I brought up Cardi B, and I know I don't want to jump, all over the place, but when you look at the Cardi B's and, these different celebrity relationships and you see the way these women act, you think, oh, this is how a boss chick, they don't understand that that's not necessarily what men wife, that might be something that men have fun with, or, just deal with for a certain amount of time. But that's not what men technically want, is a boss bitch or a loud, aggressive, combative woman, because that's all we're seeing on TV with the female rappers. That's what's being fed to the younger crowds, is aggression from females. You know, and so I feel like a lot of that programming is going on, and that's where a lot of this toxicity is, because we're seeing it at numbers and levels that we haven't really seen it before, to be honest.
I think it's just
Previous
because of social
generations,
media we're exposed to it
that
more.
too. I mean, that too. But I mean, I would, I can't prove it, but I'm just going to say previous generations and what we've known from previous generations of women were not this aggressive. We're seeing a level of aggression that I don't think I don't remember that. I grew up in South Central LA and I grew up around some pretty tough women, but towards men and yeah, you saw the toxic relationships, but you've never seen this open level of aggression that you're seeing over the past maybe 20 years. To me, it's gotten really bad.
Yeah,
so
I feel you. So I was having fun reading these. So I'm gonna finish. This is what we gonna do. I'm gonna finish reading because Vibe, you ain't see them. It gets worse. So I'm gonna finish reading these texts.
Bring them up, bro.
I'm gonna finish reading this text, and then we're gonna kind of see how everybody feels about the end result of their court case because we got that info now, and then we're gonna move to Cardi. All right. So.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. So she said, "Olees, take Halo." He said, "I'm genuinely scared of you, man. I feel like you're going to kill me in my sleep one day. I'm not allowing you in my house around guns. Please just go home and I'll pick up Halo from there." She said, "Me and Halo are in the cold and you won't let us in your house. Are you serious?" So then we got, here we go. This was last month. "I just thought we'd do what I wanted to do today since it's Mother's Day. But if you really want to go, you can. I'll just go home and pack. Hello?" He didn't reply. Hours, apparently. So she triple text in the same minute. No, quadruple. She texts 4 times in 1 minute. So
how people do that. Put it
yeah.
all in one long message. Like, what the fuck?
That's like,
he replies, well, 5 hours later, if you don't come back here, I'm going to call the police. I don't want you to do this. I don't want you to do something stupid. I'm going to give you 5 minutes. You have a son. I know you took my gun." Jesus. "That gun has no safety." Why you got a gun with no safety? What?
It's a Glock, bro. Glock, bro. Come on. Glocks ain't got no safety.
Don't get a Glock. Put it down. That's not nothing to play with. I'm assuming she's sending the gun. First, this is weird as shit. She needs help.
Wow.
She needs
First
help.
First of all, they've already stated, I think some type of psychological test came out stating if you text like this, you already have signs of some type of mental problem.
Yeah, that's just not. You didn't
But
talk.
we also have to keep in consideration postpartum depression is real.
Postpartum,
and that's not to give a
listen. It's real.
That's not to give a
that shit ain't real.
An excuse.
No, it's real.
Not to give
this
an excuse, but it's very much so real.
No, that shit real, but this is a lie.
You still got to take care of yourself.
When
like
she had that baby, she was doing this shit in 2022.
Listen. I don't know.
So it just exacerbated her already mental issues she had. It just exacerbated them.
What it is, right, is that this world is softer, like Bernadette said at the beginning, not just men, but this world is softer across the board. Men, women, period. We are some soft ass humans compared, because we don't have to worry about shit. We got AI doing everything. We got robots vacuuming them up our fucking dirt. Like we're soft people, and that's why I'm gonna leave it. But go ahead.
All right. So this was in February. You didn't talk about Halo for more than 2 minutes. That whole conversation was about girls. I'm working. I don't know what to tell you. And she said, "Every day I want to die because of you, of the way you embarrass me online and allow other women to speak on me. I keep going because of how much I love our son." He said, "I have $40K in bills every month. I have no choice but to work." She said, "And how much I know he needs me." He said, "Send me a clip of a girl disrespecting you. I'll give you 10K if you can." She said, "You constantly hurt me and then try to say I'm wrong for asking for your support." I think that's the last screenshot I got. This one's from 2022.
That girl madly in love with him.
Ain't no pregnant. Answer the fucking phone. Answer the Fecon phone. Answer to be fucking phone. I'm going to try one more time. If you don't answer, it's over forever. I'm not playing, Daryl. That's it. He said, "I just want to be left alone, please." She said, "I'm calling for help. I have a knife. I'm calling for help. But why don't care do you? But why don't..." But why don't care do you?
Yeah.
Okay. He said, have a knife for what? So, like, Sandra, I'm with you 1,000% for postpartum being a thing, but this ain't it. That did.
All
Do
right.
y'all think this is love? Do y'all think this
No,
is
I
a
think
love
she
this
needs
time?
help. She needs help.
Hold
She
on,
needs
hold
help.
on,
Yeah,
hold on. Can we answer this question? Because I see Bunny Zombie is in the chat, and shout out to Bunny Zombie. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat right now. But I just I'm curious to know, this is manipulation on whose part, because I'm having a hard time figuring out what's
Because you
manipulation.
know what? Because women will
Both.
say
Maybe
it's
I'm-
DDG and men will say it's Hallie.
But no, but
I
see,
think
as
it's both.
no,
Both
I
are
don't
manipulating
think
each
it's
other.
I think it's both.
No.
As a man, I think this is manipulation on both. Both parties are
Absolutely.
being manipulative.
I truly.
I'm gonna be
not saying
honest.
he isn't. I'm just.
Go ahead.
I
It's
just think,
manipulation on
there's
both
I
points.
think there's a world where he's so scared of saying something he doesn't feel or the wrong thing, and there's a world where he's manipulating her. That's why I don't know. She's just crazy. I don't know if it's manipulation or she just don't know what the fuck to do with herself. But I just see both for him.
I feel like with this
Go ahead.
situation, as far as like the manipulation tactics on his point, like he's already proven to be a manipulative person, right? So like what I pointed out before, not in this stream, but like I pointed out before, saying, oh, she has this golden image and I'm protecting her image, but you saying that is you basically saying that she's not all that great and that you're running game for her. So it's just like he has shown that he is a manipulative individual. And I do know that there are some men that they know your buttons to press, and they will press the fuck out of them to get a response
let me say
out of
this real
you.
quick.
But she still has to have accountability for that shit, because you shouldn't be saying that shit. You should be going and seeking help, especially since you have access to resources. You should be seeking help for your mental health. That is a no-brainer. So I'm not on her side either. But I will say there are niggas that know how to press your buttons.
I think that's true too. I think there are people that know how to press your buttons. I totally agree with that.
I don't want to make that judgment because I don't know enough about the
I think it's
relationship.
her. I'm sorry. I think
Thank
it's
you.
her. I don't think it's DDG. I think DDG is young. I think
She
DDG
is
got.
too.
They both young,
but
yeah.
but she's the perpetrator. I think
How's
when you're
she the perpetrator?
I think she's the perpetrator because just like I think it was Sandra said that her image, like, you know, she has a certain image that she has projected since she first came on the internet. She was the sweetheart, she was the innocent girl, and she was the younger. Was she the younger sister? I think she is. But anyway, groomed by Beyonce, right? Groomed by this whatever Beyonce,
You don't mean groomed
right?
in a negative connotation, do
Not
you?
groomed in a negative way, but in the
Maybe.
industry. Yeah, we don't know. We really don't know about that part. Okay, that's open. But I was talking about in the industry as a entertainer. You know, we know they came up on Beyonce.
She could have been groomed by Solange. You know, she's seen her Solange beat up Jay-Z.
Either
So, I mean, you never know.
Either way, their image is important. Their image is important, and their image can be completely separate of who they are. So if DDG walked into something that he did not know, like if she presented her image to him initially and then boom, I'm pregnant, now you finna see the monster. I believe that's what happened. I'm sorry. I believe that is her. I believe he got caught up in all of that shit. And I believe she presented she sent out her representative to get into a relationship with. I ain't saying DDG's innocent, okay? I'm not saying he's completely innocent. He's a young man. He's probably doing shit all over the place. Whoop-de-wop. But I believe that when it comes to manipulation, when it comes to mental health, I think that's on her part. I'm sorry. I do.
All right. Let me add this right here, because I think narcissism, manipulation are things that Black women throw around like fucking, I don't know. They throw them around a lot. That shit is something they use more than a fucking
like a name.
They use shit like a name. Like, that's your fucking name. Like, so I can't even take that shit seriously when I see women even type that word, because I hear it a lot from my wife. I hear it a lot from other women, because this is something that they use. And that's that dumb shit right there, is that women, this is why we can't believe women. Y'all are proving why we can't believe women.
Petty as hell.
So on that basis, right? Let me put it like this. First of all, manipulation is not always a negative. There's not always a negative
agree.
manipulation. There's not always.
I agree.
I think
There's
the
not.
positive of manipulation is persuasion. I think manipulation by definition is.
Thank you. So on that
No,
basis,
well,
well, yes, on that
Okay,
basis,
high five.
on that basis, right? The degree in which you use either one determines that which one is being played. They can be confusing. So for instance, right? This is my wife you see on the screen. This is my beautiful wife, right? From what y'all have seen, from what y'all know and what y'all have discovered about her over the past few streams, y'all would think she's the most amazing person on the planet, right?
So,
But if-
wait, you're
time out,
going to take this
time out.
moment to throw me under the bus.
See, look, she's defending herself, thinking that her
You're saying
husband.
this is
No,
narc?
she's going to
This is called-
listen.
Go ahead.
So she's going to try to take that moment to defend something. She don't even know what's coming. She just think
what
that I'm
you were
about to do
saying
it.
is leading up to
No,
something
it's-
crazy.
but
Well,
it-
you
but
were
it's
thinking
not.
it was a-
But
well,
it's
what do you
not.
what do you know then? What do you want to tell them that they don't know about me?
If you let me finish versus you allowing them to experience it right now, then we can get to the point,
Oh,
right?
that's that trigger thing. That's that button pushing thing.
Or is this manipulation? Or is this manipulation? This is the question, right? So
On full display.
Exactly. So for the past 3 weeks, y'all have seen my wife on these streams with me and Sandra. Y'all have discovered her. Y'all have created an image in your head of who. I know who she is, and to everyone that I know who she is fully, I would never display to anyone in public to change that to alter their image, whether we're together or we're not. But I promise you, as a woman, if my wife was to break up today, knowing that she is a celebrity, she would use that, whatever that information is, she would use that and go to the internet first. Perfect example.
Lies.
Listen,
Lies. I'm not of that.
Listen, perfect example. Remy Ma and Papoose. Papoose went. He here for 6-7 months, knowing his wife was out here cheating. Everybody seeing him. They like, where? She's out here talking reckless, doing her reckless thing. He did not speak up until he got to a point where he's like, listen, y'all, I gotta defend myself. I'm trying to move on. This is what women do. Women claim manipulation across. They claim all of this narc shit when they are the ones who doing it, and they say it because it has more weight, because men are more aggressive in certain situations, so they use it as a pawn on a chessboard, and men just have to sit there and take it. That's just my perspective.
I mean, I would agree with that. I think that's what we're witnessing all across the board. Like all the names that we've named, you have women coming to the internet and then men coming to, sort of defend their honor.
Yeah. So like, do y'all think Remy and Pap are both equally to blame in this shit? Because I personally, I don't like, at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck about they shit. It's just like, y'all just break up. Like, what the fuck? Just break up. Y'all too old for this. First of all, they acting just like DDG and Haley almost to a point, and they're like 40.
Right.
So, like, what do y'all think? Like, to my understanding, they've been having, everybody kind of knew about Remy and Easy, but I think once they couldn't hide it no more. Pap was cheating beforehand and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And Remy FaceTiming niggas and falling asleep on the phone. So it seemed like they was just broken up behind closed doors. Now it's on Front Street. What is Remy's problem? Is it? And so supposedly it's because Clarissa Shields brought her up at the Breakfast Club. And to my opinion, it wasn't even worth. I mean, this latest back and forth.
Yeah, this latest. So for me, and let me jump on this real quick, and I'm gonna keep it real short. Let's just keep it a buck. Let's keep it out. But we mentioned it a minute ago. Baddies, fight, entertainment. Love and Hip Hop, fight, entertainment. Jerry Springer, fight, entertainment. The internet, fight, entertainment. We are in an entertainment industry. This is helping Papoose more than being on Love and Hip Hop is helping. This is helping Remy Ma more than being on Love and Hip Hop and having a rap career. Clarissa Shields have become more famous over the past 2 years, more notable, and even more fashionable over the last year and a half since all this has been happening.
Fashionable is hilarious.
I mean, come on, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I've been watching this girl for the last 3 years, and she was not as fashionable as she is. She says she's not a fashionista, but she's becoming one because she has a man she's trying to keep her image up for, who was just with a woman that was super fashionable. So on that basis, this is a come up for all three of them. It's keeping their names in more publications than it has ever been. So at the end of the day, they run businesses that are built off of entertainment. Remy Hamar has a rap battle league that is built up off of drama, rapping and talking about people. This is just keeping their names moving. And I don't fault either one of them. It's just good entertainment for what the people want, the masses. The masses are stupid enough to entertain this, buy into this, let them keep buying it. That's all I gotta say.
Because I definitely
Same thing
I
with
agree.
UFC.
That's why I don't. That's why the way I be feeling it, I be like, get me out the group chat. I did not ask to be added to this group chat. Delete my name out this motherfucker because I didn't need to know all that. Okay.
And I think
well, you know, when they were the poster children for Black love, you know, it was.
I think that's probably why people are invested, because they was the
that's
image
why it's so
of
salacious,
Black, especially in hip hop.
So was Whitney and Bobby. So was Whitney and Bobby until we find out Whitney's the one who got Bobby on crack.
Wait, we didn't think they were. We didn't think they was the epitome of Black love.
No, that was.
We just thought they was.
Totally.
They were not the poster child of Black love. They was just two crackheads.
Hold on, no. Absolutely. So y'all gotta be younger, because Whitney and Bobby, when they got together, and Bobby Brown was the bad boy of R&B.
You said Whitney and Bobby.
Yeah, when they was back in the early 90s when they first got together, they were, that's Black love. We so happy to see that. Now I ain't talking about once they crack. That's more y'all generation. I've been there since the beginning. I was there since the
I didn't
know. And see that goes hand in hand with the Haley Bailey and DDG situation, because originally, from my understanding, Whitney always had that good girl image, right? Very squeaky clean. But then when you find out, she ghetto as hell. That was a ghetto woman. Okay, rest in peace. I love her, but she was get to the O.
And you know what's funny? I think everybody thought Chloe was gonna be the one to wild out more so than Haley, and it's like Chloe is chilling. I just wonder what she telling her sister behind closed doors. It's like she probably like, girl, don't let this shit leak into my life, because Chloe is chilling, making her music.
One thing I know for being in this music industry, in this entertainment industry, is that you don't want to meet your celebrities. They would disappoint the fuck out of you. These people are not real people.
It's all an image.
Or what if you have no I know personally, I don't have expectations. But there are people that just show you that they're a piece of shit. Like Mariah Carey. Before I even heard about her, I knew she was a piece of shit. I'm like, I don't fucking like Mariah Carey. She just seems like an ain't shit person.
Wait, what? What did Mariah
You ain't heard about Mariah? She's literally the diva.
Mariah.
She's the diva of divas. She's like, she do shit like can't nobody else stay in this hotel when I'm staying there type shit. Like,
she does.
She does that type of shit. And then I think it was something when she tried to act like she didn't know who Jennifer Lopez was. It was some shit like that.
No, but there was a reason behind that. There was a reason behind that.
That was Tony Mottola. They had the same. That was her ex-husband. Yeah.
What? Did he dated both of them?
Yeah. That was some other shit.
But yeah, it's other reasons though. It's other reasons, and people like Karl Malone, like he messed with little girls and stuff, and so it's just certain people. It's like you rub me the wrong way, and I don't like you. But as far as anybody else, if I don't know them, I don't have expectations for these celebrities. You know what I'm saying? Unless you put out an image that's completely contradictory to who you are behind closed doors. That's when it gets weird. Like Cardi, I fuck with Cardi because everything I see about Cardi is everything seems to track with who Cardi is.
Yeah.
So, I just be like,
she's
Cardi.
exactly the same. She ain't changed. So Money didn't change her. She been the same.
Yeah. So speaking of Cardi, right? Can we segue into that real quick, because I know there's because it looks like
you cut out.
No, I said, are we going to segue into Cardi?
We can touch on a little bit. We a little bit over, but we go. We go.
Okay, yeah. Just and then I'll make my point quick, and then I'll let the women's go in on whatever I'm about to say. This is a prime example of all three of these relationships. We can even count four. We're going to talk about Bobby and Whitney, of women being the aggressors and the ones who's causing most of the issues in these situations, whether it's post-traumatic stress from having some fucking kids that they chose to push out, or you could have got Cardi probably got that too, but probably not as bad as the
she's just naturally like that.
I think might be right. I think Offset caused their problems.
Okay,
I'd have to disagree. I'd have to disagree.
Oh no.
First of all, you married a fucking stripper, bro. I'm not saying you can't turn a stripper into a housewife, but I'm just saying you married a fucking stripper. If I'm married a stripper, my whole thing is thinking I can fuck off with as many women as I want.
But if she ain't set that boundary, you can't.
This is hold on, time out. Let's keep it a hold on. Let's keep it a bean. Let's keep it a bean.
Anytime you meet a man and you tell him yeah, baby, we can, have orgies together and fuck off together. And then when you get married, you want him to be faithful to just you and you want to control him. That's gonna be a problem.
Okay, different. That's different. If you go into a situation with parameters and you change the parameters after marriage, then yes.
But we don't know. But if the parameters was set before the marriage, like when we get married, this shit gonna stop. That's keep it a bean. If he agrees,
that ain't Offset, baby. Offset ain't gonna do that.
Listen, let's keep it a bean, man. First of all, you can't show me one black couple that ever got into a relationship on any notion that we gonna set the parameters of what this relationship is before we say let's go, let's have kids, let's get married, let's fuck off, whatever the situation is. Every relationship is an assumed relationship, an assumption-based relationship. We assume we together. We don't even confirm if we together. We just move it. We just move in and we just have kids and we just start doing everything under the sun. And then And then when she found out, oh, he's sleeping with other women. Oh, you cheating on me. Well, hell, we didn't set those parameters. Nobody ever had these conversations.
Like that. I don't think most people move like that.
No, most people move like
that. You don't be in a relationship with somebody and then you don't date somebody and fuck around without them knowing, and then you get serious and then you be like, I can still fuck around. That's not how it works.
Nobody confirms boyfriend and girlfriend or relationships anymore. Everything is an assumption.
I'm gonna say
no. I think some people do that. I think younger people do that. They're relatively young.
So you saying before you got with your woman, y'all sat down and said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to be together. This is who I am. We're not going to do this. I'm not going to cheat. You're not going to cheat.
I get what you're saying.
I mean, me and Justin did.
I get what you're saying, but it is an assumption unless you do have. Usually, when you be like, okay, say you be like, at night sometimes I got to take off my big toe. You got to tell them that. You can't just. That's something that's like I don't know that this is a thing. You know what I'm saying? So you got to tell them that. But most people, unless you date them and you like, I do open relationships. Nobody's going into a relationship thinking they finna get cheated on unless you are one of those people that's outside of the norm and you have to say, I do open relationships. I'm poly. You know what I'm saying? I'm bi. Whatever your situation is, you gotta, if out of the typical, you have to express that. If it's typical, you go into a relationship thinking you monogamous.
Logic. Yeah. You're a smart person. Your name is Logic. You know what I'm saying? It's ill, but it's logical. This is what I'm saying though, brother. Hey. Like not everybody has the same mindset as smart people. If there's 1% of the world's population is intelligent, you may be a part of that 1%. I'm just keeping a buck. But just keeping it a bean across the board. Sandra just said something, and I told y'all, if you say something that sounds crazy to me, I'm throwing you under the bus tonight. Sandra said, me and Justin did. I have to ask an honest question. You mean to tell me there was nothing Justin found out about after y'all was in a relationship? Like,
oh no, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about like as far as like setting that parameter of we're a couple, we're together, we're monogamous. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. That's one set of parameters. What if this man has a whole bucket list of freaky shit he like to do that he didn't tell you about? Like this is what I'm saying. We don't know everything about everybody. And then sometimes we find out shit that make us feel like, nah, that ain't for me. And it's a turn off, and it becomes bigger and bigger because no one actually, we don't do anything to address it. So that's all I'm saying. It's but
let me say this, Jay. I think when you get, whether the relationship is an assumed relationship or whether you did sit down and say, hey, are we in a relationship or let's be boyfriend and girlfriend, regardless of which way you do it, I think as you move into the relationship, you slowly get to know each other. You slowly get to know likes. You slowly get to know what a person's habits are. Right. And then you can decide, how you move from there.
Okay, so, but that's a conflict. That's a conflict because what logic is saying is if I'm poly, I come straight out and say I'm poly. For example, I just watched a video on a female who just complained about her dude breaking up with her because she had HIV. And he was okay with her having HIV. She told him up front, but she wasn't okay with him being polyamorous or whatever the fuck that shit is.
Did
So-
it pop up?
Was that?
The poly part popped up. He didn't say that before.
Well, no, I guess he said it after they was intimate, and then he was like, "Yeah, well, I want you," and she wasn't okay with that. But he supposed to be okay with her having HIV. All I'm saying
They
is,
good together though.
hey, you asking me too many questions. I didn't get. You asking me too many questions. You asking me too many questions. I ain't got answers for. All I'm saying is,
how you don't know this person is poly. Like
all
that's
I'm-
what I'm saying.
Listen,
Yeah.
no, but listen to what I'm saying. Taking both of y'all examples. Logic said we supposed to be upfront about those things. She was upfront about her AIDS. He wasn't about her poly. And based off of what you said, Bernadette, as we get to know each other slowly, we get to understand. So which one is correct here?
Well, dude just didn't do what he was supposed to do.
No, based off of your logic, off of Bernadette's logic is, oh, well, we're supposed to get to know each other slowly and we'll build up. So
Either way,
I feel like as you get to know, you can make those decisions of whether or not you want to continue. You can always say no, and I feel like it's valid no matter what your reason is.
Okay, but what is the threshold for how long it takes for me to come out and tell someone I'm polyamorous versus the threshold of someone coming out and saying, "Hey, I got HIV." What is the threshold on those things? How comfortable
at the beginning of the situation is the threshold?
How comfortable does a person have to be honest, that honest? Because if any of us was to be single today and get back into the dating pool, is any of us willing to go out there at the moment we meet someone and say, "Hey, I like dildos and balls up my ass, and I fuck strangers. I get dogged in the parking lot, and I'm looking for a partner."
Listen,
like, what the fuck are we talking about?
I don't think all your sexual proclivities got to be disclosed at the moment you start having sex or dating. Well, I'm talking about your relationship style. That's what I was referring to. Like the
sex is definitely a big part of the style, nigga.
Yes and no. I'm like, yes and no. I get what you're saying, but I'm talking about the style. Like, you cannot try to date somebody that's looking to be monogamous and you're not. That's just not going to work.
Because how did we even come into the same atmosphere?
Like, that's not going to work.
Are we at the same places? Like, how are we frequenting the same place? If you live in one lifestyle and I'm not.
That's like saying, how can a straight person ever become gay? Like that's a crazy thing to say.
You can't become gay all of a sudden unless you were already gay.
You're just hiding it.
Right. It's not like I woke up today and I'm gay.
Unless you're just in the closet, you don't become gay.
I mean, beards are a whole thing. That's a whole thing, being a beard.
I mean, but it's the same thing with, like, one day you may be monogamous and you had a bad relationship. Maybe you want to try polyamorous now.
Right. The difference is
somebody probably had a bad female relationship. Next thing you know, they want some dick. Like, it can go.
It don't work like that. It don't work like that.
See why your female relationship
it don't work like that for you because you are a man. I am a man. It won't happen like that for us. But some people are trying
they already had that. They already had that. But listen, what
I'm
saying,
already that way.
Yeah, they was that way. But what I'm saying is,
you don't
like,
just wake up and become that.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, maybe you're in a monogamous relationship, and then maybe you like it's stagnant. You like, have you ever considered a poly relationship? That's totally different than knowing you're like poly and just hiding it from somebody. That's two totally different things. And that shit happens all the time, you know?
Because at that point, you wasted somebody's time, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you know that you want this and the other person wants something completely different and you just, stringing them along, it's ridiculous. Like, let these folks go and find the person that is for them, that has those same values. But kind of going back to the whole Cardi B and Offset situation, she crashed the fuck out. Okay. Really? And I was disgusted. I was absolutely disgusted. I was pregnant during the same time she was pregnant. And when she came out and was talking about how she was fucking another nigga while she had Offset's child in her womb, I wanted to vomit. I was like,
that's wild. That's pretty wild.
You nasty. You a nasty hoe for that.
Yeah. Very disgusting.
Like, wait till the baby comes out. Like, you got this other man's juice all over the baby. That's nasty.
Yeah.
I'm
Why
disgusted.
You gotta be so graphic?
Yeah, very disgusting.
Yes, disgusting. I was disgusted because, for the life of me, I can't understand it. I don't want to understand wanting, exposing your womb while you have a child inside you to DNA that could harm you, right?
Yeah.
DNA that could harm the baby. So it's reckless on that point. but then it's also, oh, I'm gonna do this tit for tat. He cheated on me, so now I'm gonna cheat on him while I'm pregnant.
I do
that
think
tit for
that's
tat shit is childish. And she was on this whole hold the nigga down, but like he been cheating on you. So you boo-boo the fucking fool for staying. You boo-boo the fool for staying and laying up and having 3 kids with him. So it's like accountability needs to be held on you because you saw who this nigga was and you decided to keep having kids with him. But this kind of goes back to the Halle Bailey situation. A lot of bitches, what they will do is have babies with niggas thinking that they could control the nigga because they have that baby. And a lot of niggas ain't gonna go for that. You will some that'll be like, oh, well, now I'm a dad. I just gotta, go to work, come home, go to work, come home, and just stay in that cycle of bullshit. But you have other niggas that don't give a fuck. Okay. You not gonna control them with no goddamn baby. So a lot of these bitches, what they'll do is they'll have a baby on nigga, have multiple babies on nigga, and think that she gonna be able to pull rank on him. Well, you gonna do what I want you to do because I have this child, or going back to those text messages. Oh, you could just go ahead and let her raise our son, and I'm gonna just off myself, like, bitch.
And you know what? And you know what, Sandra? Not even that. When a woman makes more money or has more pull in the relationship than the man, if she has more motion, which Cardi B had more motion, at least when after they got together, and you think you can financially hold this man hostage. I don't know if you heard her. Wait a minute. No, let me finish. Let me finish. Just like when she was going off, and you heard the rant, out of her most recent rant, where she was talking about, well, you want to know how much I pay for everything? Let's do the math. Count it up. And she started talking about this most ridiculous shit I've ever heard in my life. Well, my daughter's driver, my kids have a private driver. Mind you, they're all under 10. And he gets paid $10,000 a month. I have a nanny. That's $40,000 a month. I have a babysitter. That's $30,000. And then the
so she ain't never got her kids, is what you're saying. Go ahead.
$35,000 a month. The other little boy's school is $45,000. I was like, this bitch is financially irresponsible. Oh, they have their private chef, and all of this shit. And I was like, what do you expect? Like, what do you expect from Offset? Not only have you had a negative impact on his career, he's not doing what he used to do. The Migos have broken up. The magic is gone, but also you guys are in the news for all this bullshit. He's not making the money he made. And you got all of this shit you're throwing out and then accusing him of being a deadbeat.
Listen, first of all, I got to jump in here.
You're financially irresponsible.
First of all, I got to jump in here. I know we got to get her and call this, call it what it is. But listen, first of all, Offset gave Cardi B the career she got because he wrote that fucking song, Bodak Yellow, for her. First of all, listen.
I thought it was the other dude that wrote that.
No, Partisan Fontaine, but no, he was a part of that first record, and he helped her write plenty of other records outside of that. And on top of that,
that's why she got with him in the first place. Let's talk about it.
So yes, with him, Migos was a bigger artist, our biggest group during that time with Bad and Bougie when that song popped off. So do not ever say that he got with her and she was the bad one.
I'm not talking about that. I didn't say he got with her because of that. I'm saying at the time she had lost her writer. Party was not with her.
That's what I'm saying. Your timeline is all jacked up. This is my lane. First of all, at that whole thing when her first song popped off, Partisan and Offset was a part of that whole ride. So don't even.
That's what I mean. You still proving my point.
No, but I'm saying he was a big artist. He was one of the big.
Yeah, but they was writing for her. Is what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is, you stated that he needed her fame.
No, I didn't. I didn't say that. I didn't say. That's not what I said.
Is that not what she said?
No,
she gave an example of women doing that. It was just like a tangential example of other ways women do that shit.
There was some ulterior motives. It wasn't just about I want to be with this guy. It was that you can serve a purpose in my career. No, and I'm saying.
And first of all, it was a business decision that worked for both of them. Period. She was the biggest up and coming female artist that was beefing with, and he was a huge part of a huge rap group called the Migos, who just dropped Bad and Bougie, and they was doing European tours. So all I'm saying is this nigga got in fashion. He got off a record label with a bad deal, got a better record deal because of her, and she actually got exposed.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did.
In the long run, did he really?
I mean, yes, you can call it what you want based on the fact. All I'm saying is they both equally benefited. It's no different than an arranged marriage that happened. It's no different than an arranged marriage with a prince over in England and a princess or a duchess and that. It makes sense for them to get together and build their foundation, but they're just two
mega stars to get together. It don't. Bobby and Whitney, you brought it up. Bobby and Whitney. Somebody's career is going to take a fall or they're going to split. That's how it is. Because
but that don't have to do with the relationship necessarily.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I think like for their situation, like for Offset and Cardi B during that time, they both got a lot of benefits from that, because if you think about like the Migos and things like that, yes, the Migos was popping, but as an individual, Offset wasn't popping like that.
Thank you. Exactly. He just got out of prison.
He was able to start popping as an individual outside of the Migos, instead of just saying, oh, the Migos. Now we're thinking of Offset as an individual.
Right, and just like Quavo, and just like when Quavo and Takeoff popped off, and they were unconfused. They dropped a couple of songs, I think. And now, when we think of Offset, what songs has he dropped recently?
I mean, nobody thinks of any of the Migos as individuals as far as music.
The only song that come to mind for him is Ric Flair, "Drip Go Woo" on a bitch, and that only has that's only popping because of Ric Flair.
I can't listen to none of them niggas by themselves. I'm sorry.
I can't. Yeah. I mean, Takeoff was dope.
I love the Migos, but I cannot listen to any of them by themselves. I just can't.
Once he leaves Cardi B, what's gonna happen to Offset?
It's already happened.
I mean, they not together.
I mean, he's going to always be Offset, just like she's going to always be Cardi. They're going to individually always make a bag. But at the end of the day, all of this shit is entertainment, and it just drives more bags. So unless
Stephon Diggs, once he does to Cardi what Offset did to Cardi, what's gonna happen to Stephon Diggs? What are all the
Thank you, RZA. Listen, thank you, RZA. RZA said, "Do anything for clout." That's one of Cardi's songs and one of Offset's songs. So listen, let me put it like this. Hold on, let me
Offset in one of my shows. My bad.
Let me do this right here, and I'm gonna call it a day because I gotta get up. All I want to say is, Bernadette, you sitting here talking about drama this and drama that is gonna cause them to lose. Blueface and Krishan, right, are the most toxic motherfuckers on the planet, and you watch that shit every day like it's the daily news. People got their eyes on this shit like it's the daily news. They got this shit. They got this shit on their screens like it's ESPN Plus, and it's the playoffs and the motherfucking the Dallas Cowboys finally finna win a fucking championship. Listen, y'all watch this shit like this. I'm done.
I'm a mom.
I'm done.
I'm a mom.
Yeah, I mean, like to be honest. See, the thing is with that situation, and just like, and I agree with you, Vibe. Like a lot of this stuff is just for fueling engagement, right? So it's rage bait essentially. And so like with the Blueface and Krishan situation, they wasn't dropping shit. All of this was about, focus on their relationship and focus on the baby. But I just want to go in on that hoe for just 1 second. Fuck that bitch.
I'll let you wrap it up with this.
They need to lock her ass up. And I want them to start. I want them to pay. If Trump could do this, I will.
Yes, we're both do another term.
Only black women watching this shit to watch another black woman go to jail. That's the type of time y'all on.
If somebody's supposed to go to jail, I'm not mad. If you're doing wrong, you could go to jail. Go ahead.
There's no proof.
Here's my reason.
I don't know. I'm listening.
If your baby comes out with fetal alcohol syndrome, your ass need to be locked the fuck up.
What about all the crack babies? Lock
them the fuck up. Lock them up.
Be locked up too.
Lock them up. Because at the end of the day, that baby is innocent. That baby could have came out normal. That baby could have came out.
You know what's crazy? She was on camera. She was on camera drinking. That I do think. It's such a slippery slope with that. I don't want to make this go longer, but I do think there's something wrong with intentionally drinking while you're pregnant. That's
intentionally trying to abort your child. Let's be clear.
Like it's a slippery slope though. But I do. I don't like the fact that she was proudly drinking on No Jumper when she was pregnant. That shit.
And they was
That's why I didn't
baby
believe her.
almost
I didn't even
two.
believe her.
My mama
I didn't.
drank
I was
when
like,
she was
because
pregnant.
she wasn't showing, and that's when she was just like, I'm pregnant. Because I think didn't she have like,
Yeah.
didn't she say she was pregnant before and wasn't or something? Maybe I'm mistaken, but I didn't believe her because she's just like, give me the Hennessy, fighting Blueface and shit. I'm like, ain't you pregnant?
See, here's my thing though. That baby, he has the mannerisms similar to my 5-month-old, and he's almost 2.
Oh damn!
She
I
caused
saw
that baby a
face and knew he had
deficit.
fetal alcohol
And it is
syndrome.
sad.
When I saw his,
And it is
when I
sad.
saw
That's
his
the reason why she
face,
needed
I
to
was
lock
like,
the
oh, he
fuck
got
up.
fetal alcohol syndrome. I
Well,
already
the
knew.
recent videos to me look like cerebral palsy, and I'm just being honest.
It's
Like,
sad.
I've known
It's
children with cerebral
disgusting.
palsy.
It's like you ruined this baby's life. You ruined
Yeah.
this baby's life, and all for what? Now you got your ass in the church like that means something. Fuck you.
It's
And that's why I
awful.
got a real big issue with religion. Cause fuck all these
Only
motherfuckers think they can
women.
do whatever
It's
the
only
fuck they
women
want
that have
and
this
and then run
energy.
to religion.
It's only women because
Yeah.
ain't no man giving a fuck like that.
No, it's
Y'all
gay
women
men.
got
Gay men are in there
care,
too.
you care, but you just don't care like
I'm a
that.
mother. I'm a mother.
That
I
shit
care about the
crazy.
baby.
Yeah, I checked for that baby.
This
I'm
shit ain't
sorry.
got nothing to do with this baby. Y'all ain't, in that
Can't
case,
help it.
go check on all them other crack babies that's out there. Go save them little fuckers too. I'm out, man.
I'm checking
I'm
for
out.
Junior right now.
I'm out.
But
I'm
all
checking
right,
for
y'all.
Junior right now.
That's the end of it. Catch us next week, probably on Vibes page, right? If I believe. So
Yep,
put
yep,
out
the
y'all handles. Put out y'all handles.
Yep.
Valerie and
Um,
Sandra.
All facts, no bull. All facts, no bull on YouTube.
All right, and I'm just Sandra Faye. That's it. Sandra Faye, however you want to say it. I'm out here in these streets, not really, but these YouTube streets, not the real streets. Okay?
I don't know now. It's hard to tell the difference these days, Sandra.
I mean, I was at the beach this weekend, but that was a family trip. So,
Yeah.
I'll be doing my thing over on my channel, Sandra Faye. But we're going to keep doing this Control-Alt-Debate. I'm going to fire up the Control-Alt-Debate channel. Once that gets monetized, we will move this over there. So, but in the meantime, between time, let's continue to hype each other up. Go ahead and follow all of us. And just stay in tune. We all got different perspectives, but it's a beautiful mixture.
Brenda,
Yes.
You got some
Enjoyed
handles,
it.
Brenda?
I'm not on YouTube yet, guys. I kind of slow about starting the channel, but I will be doing content at some point with my husband. Vibes. Hey, Vibes. And definitely enjoy this and giving my perspective, and I appreciate you guys inviting me to do the panel.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So if you on my channel, stick around. I'm still gonna be streaming after this goes off. I'm finna put up the be right back screen, but I will be right back. Don't go nowhere. We got a lot of content to cover tonight, so appreciate y'all, man. We finna close out this section of the stream. Peace.
Deuces.
Bye, y'all.